Have you eaten akara before? Not the normal roadside one, oh. I mean the kind that tastes so good you start checking your pockets to see if someone jazzed you. Good. Now let me tell you about a woman called Mama Naira. The woman whose akara business turned her into a millionaire and whose pepper sauce was so sweet that people licked their plates clean. But behind all the sweetness, behind all the morning customers, behind all the perfect golden akara balls, was a secret that would shake the entire town of Umualoma. A secret she guarded with her life. Mama Naira wasn't always rich. Her real name was Nena Okadike, a dark-skinned beauty with legs strong like mortar pistols and a backside that made rappers fear for their lives. She always told people she was widowed early. She said her husband died when their only son, Chigoze, was 3. Life hit her hard. No money, no job, no family support, until one day she decided, if akara is what I can fry, then akara will feed me. At first, business was slow. She sold only 10 balls a day. Some days, none. But suddenly, her akara began to sell like magic. 1 year later, she built a house. 2 years later, she bought land. 3 years later, she opened a massive store. Everyone started calling her Mama Naira because everything she touched turned to money. The secret weapon wasn't just the akara, it was her pepper sauce. Red, thick, spicy enough to make a grown man confess crimes he didn't commit. Some customers came just for the pepper. They dipped bread inside, soaked gari with it. Some even ate it plain. One mechanic said, if Mama Naira pour this pepper on stone, I go lickam. Her spot became a shrine. People worshipped the taste, but nobody noticed something strange. Her frying station was demarcated with zinc sheets, a neat barrier separating customers from the pan. Hot oil day splash, she always said. So nobody questioned it. For 7 years, not a single customer saw what was inside that frying pan. Not one person. It started with a boy named Taiwo, an errand boy who washed plates for her on weekends. One morning, he peeped through a small hole in the zinc barrier. What he saw didn't make sense. The fire was burning. The pan was on the fire. The batter was sizzling. But there was no oil. The pan was as dry as Sahara Desert. He rubbed his eyes. Looked again. Still no oil. Yet the akara was turning brown. Perfect. Golden. Crispy. He dropped the sponge he was holding. Mama Naira, where the oil day? She turned, her eyes sharp like torchlight. Mind your business, Taiwo. Her voice didn't match her smile. The boy ran home shaking. People started complaining that the pepper sauce tasted too good. One woman said, this thing is sweet, like it is calling my name. Another said, when I eat it, I feel hot inside my chest. But I still want more. A pastor tasted it and said, there is something spiritual in this pepper. Still, they kept buying because Nigerians fear jazz, but they fear empty stomach more. More strange things happened. Mama Naira never bought oil from the market, not even once. She didn't even allow anyone to help her buy oil, not even her son. She would fry 300 akara balls. Yet her hands were never oily. Her apron was always clean. Her pan never had oil stains. Her neighbors whispered, does she put the oil after frying? No, she dips the akara in oil by magic. 80s, No, she uses invisible oil. Nonsense explanations passed around like gossip, but nobody could prove anything. Until the day a man named Okereke, the printer, decided to dig deeper. Okereke had a nose sharper than a police dog. He sold printing papers beside her stall and watched her every day. One morning, while Mama Naira was mixing batter, he smelled something different. It wasn't oil, it wasn't beans, it wasn't onions. It smelled like burnt hair. He frowned. Where this smell from? He moved closer, pretended to be buying bread, bent down, and through the small gap under the zinc sheet, he saw something that made the bread fall from his hand. The fire was burning blue, not red. The pan was dry, and underneath, instead of wood, there were 3 black stones arranged in a triangle, glowing faintly. Okereke stumbled backward. Mama? Something day happen here. But Mama Naira turned slowly and smiled. Not the normal kind, a smile that didn't reach her eyes. You see too much, Okereke. Days later, one of the local oil sellers noticed something very strange. Mama Naira, who sold the most Akara in the entire community, had never bought a single bottle of oil from anyone, not even once. The woman became suspicious. One bright market afternoon, she marched straight to Mama Naira's stand. Her voice shook with anger as she confronted her in front of everyone. Mama Naira, you sell 1 full basin of Akara every day, yet you have never bought oil from me or from anybody in this town. How are you frying? The crowd turned. People paused mid-chew. Everyone leaned closer, but Mama Naira simply smiled, a calm, slow, quiet smile that made people's skin crawl. Then she said, "My own oil comes from where you cannot go." The entire crowd went silent, as if air had been taken from the atmosphere. A cold shiver passed through the oil seller. Her eyes filled with fear. She hissed loudly, grabbed her basket, and walked away angrily, shaking her head and muttering, "God forbid! Something is not right here." People watched her leave, but deep inside, they knew she wasn't lying. That same week, strange things started happening. People who ate Mama Naira's pepper sauce began having nightmares, very disturbing nightmares. They saw themselves inside a giant frying pan, turning and sizzling like Akara balls. Some woke up screaming with their skin hot, almost like they were burning for real. But the strangest part? By morning, they still went back to buy more, like something was controlling them, like they were under a spell. Old women complained, young boys trembled, husbands and wives whispered in fear. Yet every dawn, a long line formed at Mama Naira's stand. Something was pulling them there, something stronger than their will. Months passed. People became used to the nightmares, convincing themselves it was stress, or the weather, or maybe just coincidence. Until one morning, something happened that shook the entire community to its foundation. A ragged, thin, exhausted-looking man, hair dirty, clothes torn, body trembling, walked straight to Mama Naira's Akara stand. People almost screamed because the man looked like someone who had been abandoned in the wilderness for years. He pointed at Mama Naira and shouted with a loud, cracked voice, "She used me to start her business. I am her husband. She is evil." The whole market froze. People stared. Some gasped. Others covered their mouths. Mama Naira had always told everyone she was a widow. But here was a living, breathing man calling himself her husband. He continued shouting, "The Akara you people are eating there is something deeper behind it." But before he could finish his confession, his eyes rolled back, his body shook, and he collapsed in the middle of the road. Women screamed, children cried, men rushed to him. People pointed at Mama Naira, shouting, "Witch! Evil woman! You've finished us! God forbid we ate your food! Arrest her! Jesus! Jesus!" Her son, who had always helped her sell, began crying too. He knew nothing about his mother's evil works. He stood, shaking, confused and heartbroken, asking, "Mama, what is happening? What have you done?" Fear suddenly gripped Mama Naira. Her secret was out. She dropped the frying spoon and tried to run, but the crowd chased her. They caught her near the old mango tree, dragged her back, and forced her to kneel in their midst. She trembled from head to toe. Her wrapper was loose. Her hair was scattered. Her eyes were wild. People shouted, "Confess! Talk now! Tell us what you did!" And for the first time, Mama Naira broke. She began to confess everything. She said she was tired of low Akara sales, tired of poverty, tired of watching other sellers succeed while she struggled. So one night, she traveled to a faraway town known for dark powers. There, she met a strong witch doctor who gave her a charm. He told her, "Sprinkle this charm on your husband or your son. Use one of them for sacrifice, and your business will grow." She hesitated, but in the end, she chose her husband because he was cheating on her with numerous women and wasn't taking care of her. One evening, she sprinkled the charm inside his food. He ate it and became like a walking dummy, silent, weak, and obeying her every command. She led him into a deep bush at night and tied him to a tree. For years, she kept visiting him and feeding him just enough to keep him alive, but drained his blood weekly. That was the oil she used to fry akara and pepper sauce. The crowd screamed in horror. Mama Naira cried and said, "I am shocked to see him here today because I tied him to that tree with my own hands." Just then, the husband, Okoro, who had collapsed earlier, finally woke up. People quickly gave him milk and food. After eating, he began speaking weakly, tears streaming down his cheeks. He said that after years of suffering in the bush, he started praying, day and night, non-stop. He asked God for forgiveness for all his sins, for the cheating, for abandoning his home, for hurting his wife and breaking his vows. One night, he felt something touch the rope, a warm hand, a peaceful presence. He said, "An angel came, untied me, gave me strength, and led me straight here to expose everything." People clapped their hands to their heads in shock. Men began kneeling, praying. Women cried loudly, shaking. Children held on to their mothers. Okoro raised his voice and addressed the entire community. "Men, stop womanizing. Take care of your wives. Respect your homes, because evil enters when love dies." Then he turned to the women, "And you never seek revenge through darkness. Only God can fight your battles." He looked at Mama Naira and said, "I forgive you. May God forgive you too." But before anyone could say another word, Mama Naira suddenly collapsed. Her body shook once, twice, and she died. The whole community went into fear. People ran to churches for deliverance. Pastors prayed for families. Prophets anointed homes. Women fasted. Men repented. Everybody sought spiritual cleansing. Okoro reunited with his son and promised to be a better father and stop womanizing. The people felt peace returning slowly, but the memory of Mama Naira's evil lasted forever. This story teaches us that revenge ruins families. Witchcraft never ends well. No blessing from darkness lasts. And no matter how long it takes, God always exposes evil. Thank you so much for watching. Tell us what you think in the comments section. Share this story with someone who needs a lesson today. We remain Delia Story Time on all platforms, bringing you the best stories every time. Bye for now. See you soon.
Mind your business.